Greetings everyone, boys and girls. This is James here speaking, and how's it going? Today is Monday, which means here today is Miku Monday moments. So, do you know how to remember where I was going outside for a location and where I was been to 3 days past? So, I'm just getting into this Monday. So I was just getting rough and starting off with the aftermath of World Autism Awareness Day and Autistic Thai group at the Chiangmai City. And it was a really have an environment to be nearly just more than years, but had since I've been had to stuck at home with the tragedy events of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so right now, I was going to be had we're getting into the rough with something to explain with some the with the thought and about what I've been going to. I would have to I got the aftermath of World Autism Awareness Day 2022 and Autistic Thai groups at the Chiangmai City. So there's a lot I had to take a bit for a while, and which is I really didn't chance to go into us go and do anything, do everything else to Chiangmai City. So I would could be going back to more to Chiangmai too soon. So had a chance to visit James' auntie house, but it's a usual that James' aunties going outside located to somewhere else to something as they do something to interest of investment. So let's get into try to the aftermath of World Autism Awareness Day 2022. Let's get it to explain the background. So explain real life the background. I was just woke up there it's early morning, which I was beginning to filming it at home and provided this where living my James family has been forced me to going with in mom's it's setting up a clock ready on evening night, and then I hear it from the outside for the outdoors. But when in mom's is picking up the truck that were going to the Bangkok City during the evenings, earliest mornings, but the early mornings up, and I was begin to filming it iPhones the usual with filming it took place anywhere to the Bangkok City, and therefore having to be I was going to destinations were long as the miles at the Bangkok City, and just taking it to the richest beach that I went to visit at Kampampet and Nakosawan. Then I mentioned that I remember going to the Nako Nayoks. So I really had I remember having a good this all these years. So had to do outside the trip. So right just before the dance, but I got to carry the package clothing stuff. Then I reached us was going to reach the Ayutthaya just in here, and then that goes to reach to the Bangkok City. That's destinations that got located to the Bangkok City, and then reach to just going to Sky Hotel. This is well Upper Sky, the tallest hotel building. That's what I've seen. Like I would went to trip and so far, but I was at whole of your jar. So pretty much is have this Sky Hotel. I usually have a photograph and it's filming it. It goes to 84 towers in the buildings to the upper towers of the Sky Hotel, and looking outside for the beautiful view of the Bangkok City. These micropolits are quite really freaking amazing. It's absolutely just really freaking amazing, man. And It's really usually, but really enjoyed. We're going to really enjoyed for the nighttime setting. It lights up the Bangkok City. Then I went to a little bit walking street to the Bangkok, but it didn't go into so far past. But at some other times, at some other day pretty soon. So I need to have this thinking to do, so I won't be April lonely in this place or in the house. So today, together that I was just sitting here alone with the meeting center, the that is the encounters were that found South Korean Thai guy named Taiwan Wong Chuang. He is he is the average, and he has the cowardly conspiracy on Facebook, and it's currently to encourage us, but it didn't understand this South Korean Thai guy that that's a wiggling walks around and walks in here, and he right onto the on the pens that where it's what right onto water blankets on the desk. Then when I just got tried with the hearing, the listening to the World Autism Awareness Day 2022, and then the encounters when I've met the uncle that greeted him, and it's a good thing speaking to him, but I realized I was a grow up a young adult, so that's such a long time and no one see that nobody see me, and I nearly been a few more years than God have us stuck in it at home. So the previously didn't mention that that that's a previously been are the COVID-19 pandemic, the tragedy. This was looked like a dark tragedy that took place in the real world, for in health crisis, for the against to the COVID-19 outbreaks, had the worst medication for the Thailand where outcomes. But on the side of a downside of it, 2021. But then this year, as I got upsided that I would meet that uncle guy, the Autistic Thai Foundation's founders, the uncles, wherever it's checking it, they're shaking hands. I agreed to him. Then I gotta have to the key room to send I would allow it with two boys, two younger people, allowing it to do so I have to carrying this with that autistic boy. So I don't really remember that is a boy, but it's a nickname. So let's go ahead to messages. The messages is the he has addicted earphones where to hear it. Nobody ever listening, and when just I have to got the key cards, had to go up onto the sky, just have the floor, then have to carry that autistic boy. What I was doing to smart, and I had to be the food packages on the this simply does look like a Japanese bento. That's Japanese bento. I was eating a Japanese food, really just deliciousness. So it sounds pretty good. It's really good. So then, after so long, that World Autism Awareness Day 2022, the award to the people of environment, that with usual my James aunties that came into World Autism Awareness Day 2022, and she's doing well, and she's doing purely good, and she's doing good business and incomes, that she actually doing well to its own products and production associating to coordinators, as managers, sales, something like that. I have with my usually family members part. James auntie is his arms man. Me with James aunties, which is usual family members, a part of it belongs here. But then, afterward, when the Autistic Thai groups and World Autism Awareness Day 2022, after it's been so long, just 3 days periods, they got released and they sent it back to home. So I was attracted to got this eating more than the Japanese bento box, and I just ate them a sushi, it's a fish, a grilled fish, the teriyaki sauce when it got into it. So then, Im's mom said I didn't realize that I didn't know how to eat the Japanese food. That I do eat the Japanese food, as I like Japanese sushi and grilled fish into it. But there's something in here, the mashed potatoes. This sounds more familiar to the American food, just mashed potatoes. But unless that I was eating American Japanese food in investments be food. There's a food chain so. And apparently I was apparently full and not getting as gaining weight, and ever since it's taken long, since on evening, that's when it's heading back to the home. So the Im's mom says sees overlooking for her, but I was really fate and James getting exhausting his fate when it fell asleep, and doing make April Fool's pranks when James' family's surprise up, and I got it back to home and it rest as well. And of course, so Autistic Thai Foundation and Autistic Thai Groups, the World Autism Awareness Day 2022, meeting center dismissed and they got released. So that is the World Autism Awareness Day 2022. That's literally the 3 days period. So I've been seeing the sitting here alone, so at the meeting center, it takes a bit of a while, and I just absolutely just good things as an upside of in years, but existing the 2022 upside of a personal has much a special kind of personal set. Dang, I should be at going to Bangkok City. There's nothing else to do, so I'm in order to carry on the personal working on it as a focus away in the real life, and I want to be better to find out this pretty soon. So then this today here, and I was woke up the early mornings up. Then I began to filming the discussions where I've been preparing to go into Chiangmai City, and where have us remembered the mentions, as always the mentions, and and I went to the hotels, and there's a lot of the meeting centers. There is Autistic Thai groups. Is reunions to be, and we're having to get starting off as here, and just try to texting into this James aunties when it's me with the families that came into Chiang Mai, that I'm living in the hotels, and I got sitting up front of this meeting centers. Then I went on to the digital artists with the sketches, so I put it on with the sketches, and together that was the list to be, and I posted Interstellar Laser Fantasy into CubeQuest. That's my franchise that I really did artworks, and I did doing so for a while, but it had the years before. So, and I just has got to be artistic, the visuals, spacely background, which I gonna imagine that it's gonna built living Mother Nature's mountains, waterfalls from the sky, and grass, bushes, land field is anywhere the a photograph located. That, but then I look at looking over here. It says swimming here. It says I gotta mention that there's a swimming in a hotel. As I swim at the crossing around, here's what I swim at the crossing around. Then, but then James auntie still have an house with messaging here. So then I received when I calling my step grandmother, where I was just got to reach the Chiangmai City. Then there's a hazards of jobs with the groups associating this be the autistic type groups as jobs. So there's sitting in the front here, if it's this big streams all across over here, then which the disabilities that how the carrying the autistic children and also autism the children with the families and the part of the families that's separated to be. And if I really did grow up, if I really has realized to grow up that despite being James family is a forced as outside of my indie studios, as ran into the real jobs that decided had to takes into the hobbies and have to take the real jobs to have the hobbies. So this takes up as they have the career as a carry of it be as it makes satisfies that far for frequency. But then is on evening the days too. Then I ran into the ghost going to. I ran into the red taxi that's picking up and going to Nightwalk Street. As I went to the Nightwalk Street, I walked in all around here. The groups and associations that separating the families, the children, include this autistic boy and the uncle, strong man. Excuse me, I think it's a burp in this video. There's a uncle strongman says constructed for site and walking over among us here as during the health to consider the COVID-19 pandemic impact as carried out is here. Then I will walk through here, but look all around, looking around here is about the goody stuff and imagining it's gonna do, and imagine it's making its decision it's gonna do. So I would really have to make Interstellar Laser Fantasy into Cube Quest, and I just gonna be to make the Interstellar Laser Fantasy into Cube Quest, which awaited to be going to independently the franchise had. So I really gonna do is make the art printings, wallpaper, badge, t-shirts, shirts, something like that, and I will hold a lot here. So I was usually I really do the additional arts and sketches I did to the purposely the years before, and I overlook on the YouTube videos the Interstellar Laser Fantasies that got first watched them and the first view of this Interstellar Laser Fantasy since I was a kid and I was only 6 years old or 7 years old. Just I don't know how much that I don't know how really much that I have a overlooking for internet or seeing this. Then I overlooking the traditional arts as with acrylic paintings, and I see the elephants, Thai artists that visually sprinklesly has beautifully and almost realistic, and definitely is a very good high quality. And I really has a hopes that it can make the elephants art stuff, elephants arts in parade, and I could gonna make the elephants into parade. Then I just cross enough with oil pastels printed painted with had a lot and artists like arts and animation room this apartment. So then I was make this whole halfway this where to make this decision to make this artist this apartment. So then I walked on up a walking street to the night walk market. Then so I just discovered that Japanese anime figures and there's this pretty nice snacks. I ate them too. Strawberry banana yogurt, ice cream roll. Yeah, ice cream roll sounds delicious. It's good for me. It's good for you. But then I went to the cafe in here. There's a I have the orange to the cafe and I gonna I was expecting to be usually the pizza cafe. It sounds delicious. Sounds good for me, as I really have to really enjoy it. So it's really, really, really good. And hopefully the things as really could be. After taking so long, so the day 3, and autistic type groups they got a release and they got out to meeting center dismissed and they got released. And I went to the Chiangmai Zoo and I see the stuff that the animals have surrounded here, so that right onto the bus, have it going to see it somewhere to view, and then and of course so my iPhone says going to be battery says blacked out to the battery low and it's shutting it down very soon. So I recharged them to have it clearly up. But nothing else to do. It's only this 3 days period. It's 3 days period. This shortly vacations at Chiangmai City, and nothing else that going to do anywhere to do anything. But I really is imagining this gonna have to make the decisions to gather things to do, so personal projects, the personal artworks. That's exactly how I went to shortly, the Chiangmai City tours. I really I like the fun and going to Chiangmai cities as well. No buying the cool stuff, goodie stuff, just only buying food and drinks, but no going anywhere and no going to see anything else. But it's only 3 days period. But I hope there's gonna chance to do that, comes to more the Chiangmai City, as I really do some other time to think about it some really soon. I think it's really some other day soon, so some other time soon, and I hope they're gonna visit James' auntie house, as we're calling. But I better to figure out James' auntie house and admit where it has us, especially to meet family members, and I hope they're going to the outside trips very soon. So that is the autistic type groups at Chiangmai City tours. So that is the aftermath, the explain and the background, and got this interesting got upsized this year. And I really hope I hope it's going to just make this sometimes going outside trips so far just pretty soon, but not in the future development. And if you enjoy this pretty well, make sure you have to like, share, subscribe our the personal and gaming channel if you want to have to see this more uploaded videos. So support this with Hunter World Gaming. If he has played non-stop indie horror games and focus at James View, I'll do the indie classic arcade games on every Saturday and Sunday evening night to Southeast Asia. And I'll do has gone to Steaming to come back more the Saturday and Sunday evening Steaming as well. I really hope it's going to come back to, we hopefully go into the outside of location pretty soon. So right now, and going to have the swimming trainers that will be returned. So, and thank you so much as listening here, as tuning into this, and hope you enjoyed to explain the background as well. and have a good Miku Mondays moment. And I'll see you all for next video. And as always, later. See you for the Saturday and Sunday evening.